Hey folks, so we've got Dark Eldar versus Chaos, 1500 points. It's only war, and this mission is all about kill points. So we've got two Mauler Fiends with Magma Cutters on the Chaos side. We have a Helldrake. The Mauler Fiend wasn't on his base, he was being repaired. We had a Helldrake with a Bale Flamer. We had three Obliterators with their Obliterator weapons, and then a Warp Smith right behind them. Another Helldrake with the Bale Flamer, and a Chaos Knight with an Avenger Gatling Cannon. On the Dark Eldar side, we had two groups of Scourge armed with Haywire. Not feeling Haywire in this edition so much. Two Raiders with 5 Warriors, this armed with a Blaster, Dark Lances on each, and the small sail has the Archon, a Ravager, 3 Dark Lances, Void Raven Bomber with missiles, 4 Reavers, we got a Heat Lance and Grav Talon in there, and then of course we've got 2 Razor Wings all set and primed to go after that Knight and the Helldrake. So on the left-hand side, we pushed up as best we could to try and focus as much fire onto the Helldrake, and we did manage to take it out, which was really good. But in retribution, of course, the Chaos players moving down on the right-hand flank with the Mauler Fiends, almost called a Hellbrood, Mauler Fiends, and the Helldrake moved in and took a lot of wounds, took 5 wounds off the Void Raven Bomber. Lots of shots went into the Razor Wing here, knocked it down by 3 wounds. So I turned everyone 90 degrees and started moving across the table. So dropped a bomb on the Obliterators, nothing really happened, I had just really poor rolls. And then the Reavers moved up to get ready to start tangling with the Obliterators, and then of course a lot of fire went into the Knight, really not causing anything. The Scourge came down and really didn't do much to it. I did fire a lot of lance shots into it. It lost some wounds, but not as much as I needed it to. So that's pretty much the situation we're kind of sitting in. So as I was moving across the table, trying to put fire into the Mauler Fiends, the Helldrake was chasing down my Void Raven Bomber, continually adding more wounds to it. Lots of fire went into that Razor Wing, knocking it down by a significant amount of wounds, and I lost a Raider there, and this Ravager did take a bit of a kicking from the Knight. So we did manage to take out that last Helldrake, which was good from maneuvering some of our jets around and firing as much as we could into it. And we did take a little bit of shots into the Mauler Fiends. So the jets and the bomber at the bottom of the table, one's at the top, and then we're moving through the center here. Warriors are on the ground, kind of creating a line between the next Raider behind it, and our Ravager is kind of fleed back and fired a little bit. The Scourge really aren't doing anything. They're just kind of irritating the Knight, and then the Reavers moved in for assault. I really like the Reavers. They're really good. A little pricey, but I really like them. Knight moved over, started beating on the Ravager. I took 1 wound. I assaulted the Obliterators. They fell back, and then the Mauler Fiend came in and assaulted. This Mauler Fiend moved around, shot up at the Razor Wing, causing a wound. But it's moving along so far. My jets at the bottom did a 90-degree turn, started to fly across. So the fighters at the front of the maneuver, and then of course we got the bomber at the back. Reavers jumped back to fire in. Scourge moved down to kind of pass the fire along as best they could, and we tried to fire as much as we could into the Mauler Fiend to slow it down, and the Knight just causing wounds. We're just picking at it right now. Assaulted by the good old Mauler Fiend there, and it's not going so well for the bikes, but we're trying our best to hold our ground. The Knight did manage to destroy the last Raider and the Ravager finally, and then really the Scourge took a whole smoke load of shots, and I pretty much lost them to morale. The Scourge really weren't doing much in the game anyways. Now, these Scourge were just kind of sitting up, ready to decide on where to go, taking some more wounds from the Mauler Fiend and Assault here, and the Obliterators just firing wherever they need to. Overall, the game pretty much ended with us finishing off the Knight, and these Reavers kind of jumping back out to shoot, jets moving up across the table as much as they could. The Knight, when it exploded, it did take out a significant amount of units around it, so that was pretty cool. it did pop a lot. So all I had left was pretty much the Archon there with a wound and the small group of warriors. So overall, it was a really good game. We're just, again, practicing a lot of the rules, getting used to how the new system works, and I'm really happy with it. My whole plan for the game really was to move everything to one side of the table, focus as much as I could onto a few units over there, and then just have the jets circle around the entire table. It was a victory for the Dark Eldar, and if I was to look at the various different units, I have to say Razor Wing performed really well. It's not as maneuverable as the Eldar jets, but it's very fast and gets to where it needs to go and has a lot of firepower still. The Void Raven Bomber is so much better now with it being able to shoot 360 degrees, and the bomb is fantastic when you actually roll appropriately for it. And yeah, Reavers, you toss on a Grav Talon, you're laughing, just get rid of the Caltrops. And I love how resilient they are in close combat now. When it comes to the Ravager, its output and how well the Dark Lances operate now in this edition are really good. The Raiders are really nice and resilient. They actually live for a little while, and they can get your units to where you need them to. Blasters are still fantastic. Archon is fine right now. And the only unit I wasn't really happy with or found didn't perform well are the Scourge. And I think that's just because I brought a bunch of really haywire blasters. I'm actually thinking about dropping the Scourge and maybe tossing in some more Reavers because those guys are just so much fun. Overall, great game. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this too. So with that said, I adjusted the format a little bit. Let me know what you guys think of this. Talk a little bit about the game and how it goes, and then at the end I'll talk a little bit about my thoughts about the units and my strategy for the game. Anyways, with that said, hope you guys enjoyed this. Like, share, subscribe, and all that fun stuff, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye now.